I'm prepping for ULDUAR already, and you should too. I've made investments that will guarantee me at least 5,000 gold profit. I'm going to share my entire plan to make Phase 2 a big success on all my characters, from leveling new alts to gold farming and maxing professions. We'll also talk about how to prepare for a devious change Blizzard has made to push casual guilds to raid more in Phase 2.
You will all serve me.
The first thing I'm doing to prep for ULDUAR is investing in tons of consumables and materials. ULDUAR hard mode is going to be a consumable destroyer, so think about which consumables a typical guild goes through and invest in those materials. You can't go wrong stocking up on wild magics, speed, and indestructible potions, since guilds will burn through them on wipes. This is also the time when fish prices will be thankfully lifted from the bottom of the ocean floor. I've got an alt with thousands of each fish. There are also niche consumables like flame caps and dark runes that will suddenly become very necessary for progression. Thankfully, I've got a huge dark rune collection as well. If you're engineering, you really can't go wrong with investing in sappers and serenite bombs. And speaking of engineering, time is running out to max your professions. In ULDUAR, the best two professions for all classes are engineering and jewel crafting, though there are rare exceptions for tailoring like Shadow Priest. If you haven't finished your engineering yet, definitely check out my engineering guide here. When you finish your professions, don't forget to gem and tinker out all your gear. It really makes a huge difference. I just got done maxing all my professions. One tip from my experience is to look for alternatives at each level, since the most popular way to level is often the most expensive. Expensive is also a term I'd use to describe ULDUAR, and I don't just mean gold costs. We're going to be getting pre-nerf ULDUAR, so look for the raid to be between Black Temple and Sunwell Plateau in terms of difficulty. With 14 bosses and both 10 and 25 man modes, you'll be raiding at minimum 2 nights a week. But Blizzard has done something devious. They've buffed heroic loot to encourage players to clear ULDUAR hard mode. This means almost all guilds will feel forced to push for ULDUAR hard mode clears. Your guild needs to plan for around 3 nights a week of progression raiding, so I'd recommend getting used to it in Phase 1. I'm pushing myself to hit all the raids on multiple characters to build up stamina now. You can push the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to build up my stamina. Another thing you need to build up is your FPS count. Starting with the famous vehicle section of ULDUAR, it's clear this raid is going to tank your frames unless you prep right now. It seems like many add-ons weren't quite properly ported to RAS, so I have an awesome tip. Better Add-on List lets you create sets of add-ons to load on demand. For example, I have a set of add-ons just for arenas, and I've also got a set for just when I do open world farming. And that means whenever I'm raiding, I can quickly turn off all the FPS hogs like LFG Bulletin Board. You can even see which add-ons use the most memory to build the perfect list of add-ons for every activity. On a serious note, if you really want to get prepped for ULDUAR, you need to think about how desirable your current spec is and strongly consider a swap. There's still plenty of time to reroll, so if you're not getting into raids, this is the perfect time to make the switch. I'm really excited to see specs like Fire Mages and Fury Warriors starting to come into their own in ULDUAR, or maybe you want to switch up to a new healer. That's perfect, because ULDUAR is the raid where Resto Druids and Shamans get to pump big heals. And I've got a really cool add-on that will make your gearing experience in ULDUAR 5 times better. Check that video out next.